NVIDIA, the semiconductor company, is currently sitting pretty with a market cap of a staggering $963.18 billion. Can you believe it? They've become the 6th most valuable company in the world, surpassing big shots like Berkshire Hathaway, Meta, Tesla, Visa, and more. Now here's the kicker. This valuation is even more mind-boggling when you consider the current state of affairs in the chip market. According to Gartner, we're knee-deep in a historic chip glut. PC sales have taken a nosedive, experiencing the worst decline in 2 decades. And guess what? NVIDIA isn't exempt from this struggle. Since reaching its peak last year, the company's revenue has plummeted by nearly 30%, and its net income has been slashed by more than half. The prices of their GPUs have taken a tumble too. Now, this isn't just a NVIDIA thing. Many technology stocks went through a rollercoaster ride during 2020 and 2021. They shot up to the stars as the work-from-home trend sparked an immense demand for their products and services, but as the economy gradually returned to normal, they had to give back some, if not all, of those gains. Similar was the case for NVIDIA. In 2022, their share price fell by a whopping 65% as profits took a hit. But here's where it gets interesting. Over the past few months, NVIDIA's share price has seen a remarkable recovery. It has more than doubled and is inching closer to its pandemic highs. Now you might be wondering, what's the secret behind this resurgence? Well, my friends, it's all about the hype around ChatGPT and generative AI. You see, generative AI models like ChatGPT require enormous computing power to train and operate. And guess who supplies that power? That's right, NVIDIA's graphics card come to the rescue. The demand for the computing power in the realm of generative AI has contributed significantly to NVIDIA's recent monster rally in the stock market. So there you have it. NVIDIA, facing the challenges of a chip glut and declining profits, has managed to bounce back, fueled by the excitement surrounding ChatGPT and generative AI. It just goes to show that sometimes it's not about the numbers on the balance sheet, but the potential for groundbreaking technology that captures investors' imaginations. In these early stages of the game, nobody knows for sure which companies will emerge as the leader in generative AI. It could be Microsoft, Google, or even some new kid on the block that we haven't heard yet. But here's the thing, regardless of who succeeds, they'll all have to get their hands on NVIDIA graphics cards to power their AI models. Now that sounds like a sweet deal for NVIDIA, doesn't it? They're like the picks and shovels play, ready to cash in on the upcoming AI gold rush. Now here's where it gets interesting. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a company called Cisco. They were the NVIDIA of their time, creating routers and other hardware that were essential for connecting enterprises to the internet. During the dot-com bubble, every company wanted to be a part of the internet revolution, and Cisco's revenue skyrocketed as a result. The hype surrounding Cisco caused a massive bubble in its share price and its peak. The company was valued at over $500 billion. But here's the kicker. While the internet age was undoubtedly real, Cisco's valuation was completely unjustified. When the bubble burst, its share price plummeted by a whopping 90%, and even after more than 20 years, it's still nowhere near its all-time highs. So you see, history has a way of repeating itself. NVIDIA is in a similar position now, riding the wave of generative AI hype. They're supplying the crucial components needed for the AI revolution. Will the valuation hold up in the long term? Only time will tell, my friends. NVIDIA is in the business of manufacturing graphics cards, also known as GPUs. They cater to both consumers and enterprises. On the consumer side, you can get their graphics cards for as low as $200, all the way up to over $2,000 for their top-of-the-line systems. These graphics cards play a crucial role in PC gaming, especially if you want to experience high-resolution gaming. In titles like Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, etc., they handle the complex graphics in real time. But that's not all. NVIDIA also creates more powerful GPUs for cloud computing applications. Think of big players like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. They snatch up these chips, spending a fortune. Why, you may ask? Because they need them to power their massive data centers. NVIDIA's GPUs are known for delivering the best performance in the market. In fact, as of 2022, they had a whopping 88% market share, almost like a monopoly. The pandemic was a massive boost for NVIDIA. They have 2 main revenue streams, video gaming and data centers, and let me tell you, both of these segments saw massive growth in 2020 and 2021. When people were stuck at home, video games became their primary source of entertainment. And with so many folks working from home, there was a surge in the usage of virtual desktops, and other work-from-home software. So NVIDIA was right there, reaping the benefits of this shift in lifestyle. So there you have it. NVIDIA's graphics cards have become a key player in the gaming world and are sought after by big names in cloud computing. Let's dive deeper into the immense computing power required for cloud computing giants like Microsoft and Amazon, who need serious firepower to expand their data centers, so they turned to NVIDIA and their GPUs. The Federal Reserve's quantitative easing policy, let's just call it fancy financial stuff, created a massive bubble in the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And guess what? NVIDIA's GPUs came to the rescue. They weren't just useful for video games and data centers, they were perfect for mining Ethereum. As the price of Ethereum skyrocketed, miners went bonkers and started snatching up graphics cards like there was no tomorrow. Gamers, crypto miners, and data centers were all competing to get their hands on as many GPUs as possible. It was a mad rush. Retailers struggled to keep up with the demand. In fact, PC Mag reported that a graphics card that cost $569 in 2020 saw its price shoot up to $749 just a year later. And even with the 30% increase, it still couldn't balance the supply and demand. Retailers were constantly out of stock, and third-party sellers on platforms like Amazon and eBay were selling their used graphics cards for a whopping $1,270. That's nearly double the original retail price. By 2021, NVIDIA's revenue had more than doubled compared to 2019. Can you believe it? Their net income nearly tripled, reaching a staggering $10 billion. Then the bubble burst. NVIDIA, with its impressive growth, became a hot favorite among individual and institutional investors alike. Disaster struck. Several external events came crashing down on them like a ton of bricks. As the economy reopened, people ventured back outside and returned to the office. This meant a drastic decrease in demand for video gaming and data center hardware. On top of that, the US was hit with a 40-year high inflation, forcing people to tighten their belts and spend more on essential items like food, fuel, and so on. That left them with less disposable income for splurging on pricey graphics cards. And if that wasn't enough, in September 2022, Ethereum, the cryptocurrency, transitioned from proof of work to proof of stake. This new model required significantly less computing power, resulting in almost zero demand for NVIDIA GPUs in crypto mining. So their video gaming revenue took a massive hit in the second half of 2022. The data center segment held up a bit better, but still experienced flatline growth and a slight decline. And here's the silver lining. NVIDIA's graphics cards come with a hefty price tag, which means their profit margins are pretty damn good. So even with significant declines in revenue, they managed to stay profitable. They were never at the risk of going bankrupt. However, the stock price of NVIDIA took a nosedive, plummeting by a whopping 65%. Ouch. Now, when it comes to semiconductor stocks, wild share price swings are pretty normal. The industry is known for its cyclical nature. Typically during a chip glut, you have to wait for demand to catch up with the excess supply before these stocks start recovering. But NVIDIA, my friends, defied expectations. Just as quickly as its share price declined, it started climbing up again. And you know what triggered this recovery? The release of ChatGPT. You see, while graphics cards were initially designed for fancy video game graphics, their ability to handle multiple computations simultaneously makes them incredibly useful for training and operating AI models. So not only do you need GPUs for the initial training of an AI model, but every time someone uses ChatGPT, computing power is required to generate those responses. And as the number of users grow, the demand for GPUs grow too. TrendForce, a consulting firm, estimated that OpenAI probably needs a staggering 20,000 DGX A100 NVIDIA GPUs to train the ChatGPT model. Those GPUs come with a hefty price tag of $200,000 each, adding up to a grand total of $4 billion. And there's more. To support the projected 100 million active users of ChatGPT, OpenAI would need approximately 30,000 of these systems, which would cost around $6 billion. Now, OpenAI didn't go out and buy 30,000 NVIDIA GPUs. Instead, they partnered with Microsoft, leveraging the tech giant's existing cloud computing infrastructure, which already had the GPUs ready to go. And as the AI industry continues to grow, big players like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, IBM, and many others will have to buy more GPUs. And guess who benefits from this increased demand? You got it, NVIDIA. So the question is it overhyped? Well, it seems like NVIDIA has found itself in a pretty sweet spot. There's no denying that NVIDIA is set to benefit big time from generative AI. That's a given, but the real question here is whether their current market cap of a whopping $750 billion and a price to sales ratio of nearly 30 times is justified. Investment bankers all over the world are crunching numbers, doing complex calculations and trying to figure this out. They're trying to estimate the number of use cases for generative AI, how many people will jump on board, how many prompts will be generated each day, and so on. They take all of this data to predict the demand for NVIDIA GPUs in the next decade. Now, the consensus right now is that demand will be enormous, and that's why NVIDIA holds the 6th spot among the most valuable companies in the world. But hold on a minute, my friends. We've seen this story before with Cisco back in the 1990s. Investment bankers did their fancy calculations predicting the massive growth of the internet and the subsequent surge in demand. The internet did revolutionize things, and Cisco did benefit, but here's the thing. They massively overestimated the magnitude of this benefit, turning Cisco's stock into a bubble. And when that bubble popped, Cisco lost a whopping 90% of its value. Undoubtedly, generative AI is a cutting-edge technical advancement of our time, just the way the internet was decades ago. It's simple to get carried away when considering the potential that is endless. Because of this, experts like Jim Cramer have suggested that NVIDIA's price objective should be $10 trillion.